This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Arrrash.
And today is all about Arrrash. So before we get into asking him all the deep questions that everybody wants to know about, why don't you tell everybody about your channel?
Yeah, so I kind of do I like to say it's a variety gaming channel. I do a mixture of like game reviews, just opinions on different things. A lot of times it's Halo, and then sometimes just random gameplays thrown in here and there where either maybe I try and do a weird challenge in Halo, or I check out like old games that no one really talks about anymore, or sometimes I'll do like first impressions in various FPSs that like I don't want to put enough time in to do like a super in-depth review, but I still kind of want to make a video on it, so I'll do stuff like that.
And I'm super jealous of whoever does your thumbnails because they're pretty great.
Yeah, they've changed styles like 4 times, but
It really, honestly, they pop. That's all that matters.
Yeah, they do.
You're probably getting a lot of traffic just based on your thumbnails. But if anybody's curious whether they should get the new Doom game, go watch his Doom video. Go subscribe to his channel. And we'll get him to that 1,000 mark, hopefully. You know, we got 250 subs of our own. I'm sure there's enough that aren't crisscrossed between our channels that we can get 37 people to sub to his channel. So go to it, youtube.com/ARRR. Did I say too many R's?
nope, you're good.
No, you're good.
ARRRASH. Boom.
You
And
just
hit
have
the
to
subscribe
remember
button.
you're a pirate while you're
Arrrash.
yeah.
All right. So, Will, why don't you get that first question out of the way?
All right, so question 1. What inspired you to start your YouTube and Twitch channels?
Yeah, so we can just knock Twitch out of the way real fast because it's easy. So, like, honestly, I just like playing games, and I wanted to be able to kind of stream them while I played, be able to talk to people and kind of hang out. It kind of gives you something to do when you're playing games by yourself, and so that one was pretty easy. I'd actually tried streaming Halo 5 for a few months once it came out, but nothing ever really caught on. So this time around I kind of led with doing YouTube videos, and then I tacked on the stream later. And my streams don't by any means like get a lot of viewers, but definitely more traffic this time around doing it that way rather than just trying to stream all the time and not getting any clicks on Twitch. As for YouTube, it started in one direction and then like quickly pivoted, and we've ended up nowhere near where I started. So when I went to start my channel, it was kind of heavily inspired by some gaming YouTubers that do like long form content on games. So like if you've heard of like Joseph Anderson or Reykjavik or like Mandalore, even though his videos are usually a bit shorter, but like they take games and they make like analytical videos about them, and they're not even necessarily like current games always. Sometimes they just go play old stuff, especially in Mandalore's case where he plays a bunch of jank that I've never even heard of in my life. So like my thought when I wanted to get into it was like, cool, I'll just play games in my Steam backlog. I'll pick up games that I've wanted to play for a while. I'll play through them a time or two, and then I'll make like these longer videos kind of talking about them. And then I quickly realized when I went to put out my first video that like long form YouTube scripted videos take a ton of work. so I kind of realized like not that I can't do it, but like I don't really think I have the time currently to try and at any regular basis put out longer videos. And it's always scared me to spend a ton of time on a video, just because like for them, if they spend a month on a video and they put it out and they're confident in the video, like it's gonna do well and it's gonna get views. But like if I spend a month on a video and it flops and gets like 50 views, I'm gonna be real sad. So currently I've kind of pivoted into content I can make a bit quicker, but I think still has some value. So I do like more bite-sized gaming reviews that are like in your 10 to 15 minute range, where we don't get super in depth, but like kind of get the basics there. And then I also realized that for as much as I love Halo and play Halo, I can just make a lot of videos on Halo without necessarily needing to do a ton of research, because I can kind of just put my opinions out there, and that makes it kind of easy. And sometimes people come and agree with you, and sometimes people come and yell at you, but either way, like I think people putting out their opinions on different things the franchise is doing is somewhat beneficial. So I've been doing that, and then occasionally I always thought it would be cool to highlight like smaller indie games and push them out there. Obviously I don't really have the fan base to to really make a dent on any game's success or not. But occasionally I'll pick up indie games off of Steam, especially if they're like free to play and they're a shooter, and I'll make a quick little video on them.
And later in the week, he's going to be talking about one of those. I'm going to keep plugging this Friday video because our Friday videos always do terrible. But he's talking about a really interesting game that I've never heard of.
The game looks really cool, yeah.
It does look really neat. And it's free to play. So, like I said, more to come on Friday. Definitely go check it out. And then once you see our Friday video, you'll know which 2 videos to go look at on Arrrash's page. Go check it out. He's got some good reviews on it. All right. Our second question, and I apologize if it looked like I was zoning out for a second there. I actually had our previous 2 videos up on the screen because I was like, I should probably just check that audio one more time. So I did, and it looks like it's good, so we're good going forward. All right, so my next question is, why do you love the Halo series?
I think one of the things that I've always loved about Halo is just all the different pieces that Halo has in one package. Whether it's like you want to play competitive and you want to grind out rank games, or like try and get into tournaments, or you just want to like hang with your buds and play like social or like big team battle, or if you want to be more creative and you want to make your own maps without necessarily having to be like a full-fledged map designer and like get into that. Like Halo just has everything in one cool package, and I think that's what I've always loved about it, because you can just change pace whenever you're bored with what you're doing. And like that's just the multiplayer side. I mean, it's usually Halo has really fun single player campaigns, and like there's huge communities around pretty much all the Halos doing speed running, and like there's just so much in Halo, and that's kind of what's always drawn me to it and what always brings me back.
You're saying it might be the most complete game series for everybody, like kind of like the everybody's game that anybody can pick up and find something they like?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it does a good job. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure you could say other games do that now. Like Fortnite's probably pretty similar with the creative mode, and if you really wanted to play like... What's up?
I don't like Fortnite. There's nothing in that game for me at all.
I respect it as a product. Like it's extremely successful, and it's a game that a lot of people like. But personally, I've never really gelled much with the actual mechanics of the game. Like I've never really liked building. I think that is just awkward and weird. And part of that is I've never put in the time to learn it, and part of it's like, I'm like, yeah, I'd rather just shoot people.
Yeah, I completely agree. And on top of that, if I want to build stuff, I'll go play Minecraft. You know, it's a game I actually understand. Fortnite, I've tried playing several times. Every time it's like, whoa, this is not what I expected it to be. Whereas Halo is like literally the only shooter I keep coming back to. Every time there's a new release, I go try it again. So I completely agree with you. Halo to me is the shooter that anybody can pick up and play. The COD fanboys can go play this game. You know, anybody that likes Mass Effect can come play this game. It's got something for everybody.
Yeah,
Will, you got the next question?
Yeah, so, you know, speaking more along the Halo lines, what are you looking forward to the most with Halo Infinite?
I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most, and like this is kind of just sad, but it's just having more people playing Halo again, and like having more of my friends play Halo. Because like getting my friends to play Halo right now, even like on PC where they all play, it's like pulling teeth, man. No one wants to play it. So I'm hoping with Infinite, like there for sure will be more players. I'm hoping like more of my friends want to check it out again, and just more people to enjoy Halo with will be a good thing.
Yep. I recently purged my friends list because all of the friends I made in like the original trilogy, like no one plays Xbox anymore. So they haven't been on in years, and I went through and got rid of them.
Whoops. What are you nervous about with Infinite? What exactly is your biggest concern with a new Halo release as big as Infinite?
Yeah, we kind of touched on this earlier in the week, but I think my biggest concern with Infinite is that it releases without all the features. Yeah. I'm really worried that we get another product like a Halo 5 where it comes out and like the game is pretty solid in some aspects, and some aspects it's not, but it's also just missing some of those core features to Halo, like Forge and theater mode and big team battle. Like those different gameplay aspects have entire communities built around them. There's people that will play nothing but big team battle. There's people that do nothing but forge and play custom games. And so not having that stuff there on launch alienates entire sections of the player base who might never come back to the game. So that's definitely my biggest worry.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I definitely agree with your sentiment on that. What do you got next, Will? This is a really important question. It's going to define whether we're friends or not.
What is your favorite and least favorite Halo games?
Yeah, so my favorite's definitely Halo 3, and it's a mixture of, I feel like Halo 3 is the most complete package, honestly, of like any game. Like, it out of the box, it had an amazing campaign, it had good to fairly decent competitive play. It was an amazing party game you could just pick up and play with your friends. And like then once they added in like Foundry and Sandbox, like the amount of things you could make with Forge was just crazy, and you could make all sorts of different gameplay modes and custom games. Like Halo 3 just kind of had it all for me, and I put so much time into it that I kind of look back on it and I'm like, that I don't know if Halo 3 can ever be topped. Just a mixture of like the fact that it came out complete, and these days not even just Halo, like so many games come out and they go with that games as a service model where they put out like a gameplay product that's fine, but they always want to try and add more game modes, and it always seems like the product you got on day one, it's just a hampered product so that they can add more onto it in the future, whereas Halo 3 wasn't that. Halo 3 could have dropped and never had maps added to it, and it still would have been amazing.
And honestly, none of the map packs that they added to Halo 3 ever felt like it cheapened the experience or felt like a cash grab. They were all these like fully featured levels with brand new mechanics in the design of the levels, the maps, I should say. And the multiplayer was always more varied and more fun on the newer maps. And then adding in the Forge mode on some of those maps was just insane.
Yeah, for sure.
I completely agree. And there's never been a hype campaign, in my opinion, as big as the hype train for Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can't
That
imagine.
one trailer where they're looking at the stars. Oh man.
It was just such a great experience. Like the hype train was it didn't let me down. Like I can't say there's very many hype trains that I've been on that I wasn't completely let down by. This Halo 3
Yeah.
was definitely one I was not let down by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually came into Halo 3 like Halo 3 wasn't technically like my entrance into Halo, but it was the first time I like truly got into a Halo game. And so I was kind of just picking up Halo 3 because literally everyone I knew was. So it was like I picked it up, and I remember just playing the campaign at first. I was like, dude, this game's awesome. And then we hopped into multiplayer, and then I was just hooked. I remember my first game we played on Isolation, and I ended with a negative score because I didn't realize grenades in Halo weren't a one-hit kill. So I was just running around the map chucking grenades at people, and the only person I managed to kill was like my friend that had queued up with me. And so luckily we're like slightly better now. You know, usually I get like at least 1 or 2 kills a game. So
Yeah.
Oh man. So now you got to roll down. What's your least favorite?
yeah, so my least favorite is Halo 4. And honestly, like I don't have a whole ton to say on Halo 4 because it's by far the least amount of hours I put into a Halo game. But I just remember picking it up and it just kind of instantly didn't jive with me. Like the gameplay mechanics that they added to that they kind of picked up from other gaming franchises that were popular at the time, just I never felt flowed that well. Like the ordinances and the loadout system,
Yeah.
and the fact that they kind of shied away from like the gun pickups on the map. Like I think that's a core aspect of Halo, and them kind of moving away from that made it just feel like another shooter, and I just didn't really like it.
Yeah. Agreed.
My toddler's just woken up on my camera, so we'll have to see if he starts getting mad or not. I might have to pause this for about 5 minutes, give him a milk bottle, if that's okay with you guys.
All right.
Give me 1 second. I apologize. We'll
you're
resume it right here, and I'll just piece these two together.
Chris has those fake nipples he puts on and feeds the baby himself.
Well, I'm still recording. I'm not happy with this. I'm gonna have to cut that.
That should stay in.
I'll
I don't
be
understand why
right
that
back.
has
I'll be
to
right back.
cut.
Oh, and we're on same token. Why are we on same token? I mean, Same Token's a
I get-
great channel, but
I think
Get
it
off
auto played
here.
its way there.
yeah, it must have like auto jumped here. All right, we're gonna find your channel again. Hey, that's cool though. If you're getting suggested from your channel to Same Token, you're doing something right.
I feel like what you want though is the other way.
Yeah, that's true. That's also true. All right, there we go. We're back on an Arrrash video. So the next question, Will, why don't you ask it?
It's not my question.
Oh, you're right. It's my question. You're right. I'm so wrong. Which Halo game has your favorite multiplayer? I think we know the answer.
Yeah, I think we kind of touched on that in the previous question, so I won't really rehash it, but Halo 3 by far.
What's your favorite vehicle? And
I
before
would say
you answer this question, remember the elephant exists.
That's true. The elephant does exist. The elephant's pretty fun, but I would have to say, like, I'm gonna just go pretty basic and say the warthog, just because it's such a fun vehicle and it never really feels unbalanced. Like, it's not that hard to kill a warthog. It's not that hard to get kills with a warthog, and it's like it's 3 people, so you can have like 2 of your buddies in it, and you can just try and do crazy things. And it's always been a vehicle there that, like, it's never really like pissed me off, and so therefore it gets propped up just because I've never gotten mad at it.
And then how about your favorite weapon?
Yeah, I would, again, I'm probably going to give you another boring answer, but I would say the battle rifle. It's just so satisfying to use, like the 3-round burst, and like just if you like 4-shot someone, it feels so good. And I think that's one of the things that draws me to Halo with the higher time to kill is when you do get a perfect kill on someone, especially like in Halo 5 when they added that perfect medal. That's like my favorite medal ever because you just feel so cool after you just wreck someone. You're like, yep, the game even tells me I'm perfect.
That's
awesome.
totally fair. And I'm going to ask the question Will asked last time we tried to record this video. Which battle rifle is your favorite from which game?
Yeah, so I think like in isolation, if you take out like nostalgia, it's probably Halo 2. The Halo 2 BR is way more consistent. It's basically just like hit scan, and it's more accurate and it's easier to use. And if you learn the button combos, which I'm trying to learn right now before Halo 2 comes out on PC, I've been practicing in Halo 2 Vista, and it's not going too well. I can't double shot to save my life. I don't think I swear it doesn't work on the keyboard. I don't know what's going on, but I can never get it consistently. I'll hit like 1 and I'm like, yes, and then I proceed to like screw 3 up in a row, and I'm like, fuck it, I don't even want it. I don't want this anymore. But so like in isolation, the Halo 2 BR, but once I factor in nostalgia, it's the Halo 3 BR all day. I mean, I played so much Halo 3 back in the day, like even though the Halo 3 BR is kind of inconsistent when it comes to spread, especially like in MCC, once you factor in the kind of shoddy hit reg, like the Halo 3 BR is just it was so fun to use, and it's almost despite being inaccurate and being harder to use, I feel like it's a little more balanced than the Halo 2 BR, because the Halo 2 BR is like, it's a jack of all trades. It's a long range weapon, it's a close range weapon because you can literally punch someone and instantly shoot if you BXR them. Whereas like the Halo 3 BR, sure, you can shoot someone a couple times and punch them and you'll still kill them, but it isn't as good close range. Like someone can use an AR and kill you close range, whereas like in Halo 2 you can beat someone every day close range, even if they're using the SMG. It doesn't matter.
Hey, what was that mode in Halo 3 where it was like headshots only, essentially?
SWAT.
SWAT, that's right, SWAT. The BR was such a OP weapon for SWAT. I loved it.
Yeah, SWAT's in everything. It's a good game mode. It's never been a game mode I can get like super into, just because it can be kind of like finicky.
Yeah.
And honestly a little aggravating if you're getting wrecked, but it's a fun like if I want to chill and play some Halo, it's not a bad deal.
Well, considering that after Halo 3, I was so disappointed in the Halo 5 campaign, and I was not disappointed in the Halo 4 campaign necessarily, not as bad as most people. But I tried playing multiplayer in Halo 4, and I was like, nope. And so I never really played SWAT after Halo 3, to be totally honest with you. I've never tried the Halo 5 SWAT or Halo 4 SWAT, if those both exist. So I really don't even know if they do exist.
They do. Halo 5 SWAT's interesting because there's so many different weapons in the sandbox that there's like 5 different versions of SWAT. There's like SWAT with the default Halo 5 BR. There's SWAT with the Halo 2 BR. There's SWAT with the CE pistol. There's SWAT with the regular default Magnum. Like, I'm using Magnum and pistol interchangeably, but you get the point.
I know
So
what you mean.
there's a ton of different versions of SWAT in Halo 5, and some of them are fun, some of them are kind of less fun.
Yeah.
Which is how most game modes go, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, you got the next question.
All right. So, do you prefer to Twitch or put videos on YouTube?
I guess as a content creator, it's kind of a twofold answer. I kind of like Twitch because it's easier to just hit go live and play games than it is to like produce a YouTube video. So that's kind of nice, and that's coming a little bit out of laziness. But I do like how on YouTube you can kind of put more of an edited product out there. You can put some time behind it, and you can. Oh, my dog just broke into the room, but
we can pause for a second if you need to take.
No, you're good.
I gotta edit this video already, anyways.
but yeah, you can kind of put out more what you want on YouTube, where like Twitch is that live environment, so it's a little different. And YouTube does a lot better job of like recommending videos than Twitch obviously does. Whereas like on Twitch, if you have no viewers, you will probably always have no viewers. Whereas like YouTube, especially if you like come up with good titles and you make good thumbnails and your videos are somewhat decent, like YouTube will recommend them to some people. You might not get like viral hits, but you'll get views. Whereas like you can be an average Twitch streamer and you could stream to 0 to 3 viewers for 2+ years if that's all you do.
My buddy kind of explained to me how the Twitch social aspect works, where you are like kind of motivated to host other people's streams, so they'll host your streams. If you don't do that, it's like really hard to grow your fan base, I guess.
So I don't want to like just shit on your friend, but so yes, there is that to a certain extent. Like there's definitely a game to be played, whereas like you can host people in hopes they host you back. But something that I've found, and honestly like bigger Twitch streamers will tell you the same, is like hosts are cool when they happen, and like you definitely should be happy if people host you, and they definitely like prop your numbers up for that stream. Like if you get hosted by someone that has like 50 viewers, like your stream's now going to be popping, right? But they don't necessarily have a lot of like long-term gains unless you're getting hosted by people that do the same thing as you. Like if you're a Halo streamer and
that's exactly what he does. He hosts for people that are doing the same thing he does.
Yeah, so sometimes you can get a little more of a crossover there, but I feel like even there, a lot of times, like those people have the streamers that they watch. So they came to your stream because they were thrown into it by a host. There's not necessarily any guarantee they're gonna pick it on their own. I mean, there probably is a small percentage that like find you and they're like, "Oh, this guy's kind of cool," and they come back. But I don't feel like that percentage is super high. I feel like if you want to grow on Twitch, you're a lot better off trying to like organically grow your own fan base rather than hoping that people.
I don't think he does that primarily. I'm just saying, like, I think that if you're streaming to 0 people, and you can find some people that are friendly with you, hosting each other can be beneficial to both of you. That's what I'm saying more than anything else.
Yes.
I mean, the friend of ours actually has about 200 followers on Twitch right now.
Yeah. No, and it's definitely helpful. I think some people think it's more helpful than it is.
Okay, so you're just trying to tell people like, hey, this is helpful, but it's not as helpful as you think it is.
Yeah, that would kind of be the way I would phrase it. That's a good way to put it.
Cool. Yeah, I don't really know Twitch. I'm just inferring based on some of the stuff I've talked to him about. So I really don't know Twitch very well at all. Like if I streamed on it right now, I'd have this many followers.
Yeah. No, I think the weirdest thing is I think like there's a few ways to like successfully grow on Twitch, I feel, and it's weird for me to say this because I'm not a big streamer, but kind of from listening to other bigger streamers, like either you're extremely good at a game and you just get notoriety from being really good at the game, and then therefore people show up, they know who you are in the game anyways, so if they see you on Twitch they'll come watch you. Or you make a fan base like outside of the game, like whether you do YouTube or like these days like TikTok or something, like anywhere that has more of an algorithm that recommends content that you can then push onto Twitch is a lot more successful than if you're just like an average Joe playing Halo and you're like moderately entertaining, but you're not. I mean, no one is going to be like super amazing, and you're just kind of middle of the road, and you're stuck at the bottom of the page. There's not a whole lot of like organic growth there.
Unless you're like the worst Halo player ever, and you make your audience based on that.
Yeah, and that's true. If you're able to come up with something that's like really unique, then that's another way you can kind of organically grow too. Because people do stumble into your stream, so like if you do something that's totally different than what they normally see and they like it, then they'll come back, obviously. But
I did not realize this. Is your Twitter with 4 R's?
yeah, my social media is a total mess.
I just didn't realize it before. I was like, oh, there's 4 R's in Twitter. Cool. You learn something new every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Go
3
follow
hours
him on
was
Twitter.
taken, so
3 hours was taken. Yeah. All right, your next question. This is really important, so make sure you answer this question correctly. All right, either this one or the next one has to include a specific channel, or else we're gonna end this real early. What Halo-centric YouTube channels do you watch?
yeah, so I mean, I watch a lot of them, obviously, but I think my 2 favorites are probably there's a channel by the name of BBK Dragoon, and he touches on some news in Halo occasionally, and sometimes he just talks about Halo in general. So he's a channel I really like. I like his videos are kind of more chill, and he always has like good instrumentals, and they're kind of like a more laid back vibe. You can kind of watch him and chill. And then he also touches on like basically every FPS game under the sun, honestly. And then another channel that I really like is Tommy Cost, and he the thing that I think I like most on his channel is he does podcasts with like different people in the Halo community. Like more recently, he did one with the head of Halo 2 Vista, the project cartographer project, and so he had him on. His name's like Uncut Fighter, I think. I should have.
Yeah, we brought this up last time.
Yeah, last time I didn't remember his name, and then I tried to remember it. Yep, Uncut Fighter.
There it is.
So yeah, he had him on. So it was just like he was just kind of talking with him and interviewing him, and it was just really interesting to hear like what that guy had to say. And he always has cool people on his podcast like that.
And if he wants to have some more cool people, hop on the Twitter space and send a message to Mr. Arrrash and say, I want you on for the next podcast.
I feel like compared to most of his guests, I don't really bring enough that's unique. But if he wanted me on, I would for sure go on.
You heard that? He's already endorsed it. He's ready to go on. Give him a message. Say, I want you on my podcast, and I will come on. I keep saying cost. I just want to make it clear. I'm not like faking an accent here or anything. Because his things are called podcast.
I feel like
it sounds like an accent, but it's not.
It's a super like cool play of his name. I like the name of the podcast.
And if for any reason in the future we ever have him on ours, we're going to call it the CHRILLCAST. Moving on. Are there any other that you want to highlight or bring up?
No, not really. I think that there's obviously the big YouTubers, and then I mean everyone kind of already knows them, so I don't really need any shout outs from me. I do have a friend by the name of Zajik. He makes pretty good stuff. He's been making Halo content for a long time.
Remind me how to spell
Zejik, and he doesn't necessarily get the traction that I think he should. So if you like Halo content, he covers all sorts of stuff, and recently he's made a couple Resident Evil videos. So
just for the record, we did subscribe to his channel with the CHRILLCAST channel, and I checked out one of his videos. I'll tell you which one it was because I gotta go back and look through it here. Let's see, video. I want to say it was How 343 can get the Halo community involved with Halo Infinite. I thought his suggestions were really good. He talked about doing some contests and stuff, and I'm not going to give away his whole video because then you won't go watch it. But it was a really interesting take on what 343 could do to build the hype going into the Infinite launch. And I think it's worth a watch if anybody is interested in what 343 should do better or could do better. So.
And if you check it out, you can scroll into the comments and you can see my skepticism toward 343 in there. So,
oh jeez, I think I commented. I don't remember. Nope, I didn't. Apparently not. I thought I did. Oh well, I did watch this video. I promise. I'm one of the 8 likes. Go check it. Let's
Yeah.
get this video
But
100 views. All right, come on.
he does good stuff. I would check it out. If we don't start getting him more views on his Halo videos, he's going to become a Resident Evil YouTuber, and we can't allow that to happen.
No,
Yeah,
definitely.
I
not.
did notice he had like 400 views on one of his Resident Evil videos.
Yeah, those videos have been popping off for him.
Well, if he becomes an RE YouTuber, I guess that's what it is.
We got to pull him back to the dark side.
All right, well, what's your next question? And he better be very careful how he answers this question here.
Yeah. So, what are some of your favorite non-Halo centric YouTube channels?
Yeah, so I'll just keep this one brief because there's so many. So I'm gonna give you one like smaller YouTuber that I like to watch, and then probably like we touched on him in an earlier question, but like my main kind of inspiration for starting a channel, and then my videos are nothing like his anyways now. So for a smaller YouTuber that I like, there's one of my friends by the name of Painticus. It's just Paint IC. Yep, there you go. And he does videos on a lot of weird games, a lot of like survival horror games. He loves like Lovecraft, and he puts a lot of effort into his videos, and they're really well done. And he has a cool Scottish accent, so I mean, where can you go wrong?
Cheat code.
Yeah.
No, it looks like he does a lot of these like kind of scary games, doesn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he does. And a lot of those games I haven't really ever heard of, and the videos are still pretty interesting. So I recommend checking it out.
I have heard of where is it? Alone in the Dark. I've heard of Lost in Vivo. Actually, both those games were recommended to me by a channel called Indie Timmy. So I know those games are pretty cool. What was the next
There
thing?
you go. And then for like the big YouTuber that I've always watched, I would say Joseph Anderson. He does like really long form analytical videos on sometimes current games, sometimes older games, but his videos are amazing. If you want I don't necessarily like watch his videos because a lot of them are so long. I'll just listen to them. But
It all counts as watch time.
yeah, there you go. But he makes really good stuff, and I enjoy his videos. He always gets super in-depth in games. Like, I think his first video I stumbled into was his video on Fallout 4 and how it like isn't that amazing, and I thought it was a really good video.
You also mentioned Mandalore.
Oh yes, well he's also another big boy YouTuber, but Mandalore does very good videos also. He reviews a lot of like obscure games that I haven't heard of a lot of the time. Sometimes he reviews games I've heard of, but he does a really good job of kind of getting into depth with games, but also splicing in more like the humor side, whereas like the previous channel is more just like straight analytical.
Okay.
I feel like Mandalore does a good job of towing the line between he's still like brings good information, and he's like you learn things when you watch his videos on games, but they're also funny.
And didn't you mention there's like a smaller like podcasting channel? It's called like the CHRILLCAST or something.
Oh my gosh.
They're pretty good.
Oh, I had to. You also mentioned the last time we did this part. You have some car channels you're kind of into.
Oh yeah, last time I mentioned the Smoking Tire. They're pretty cool. They do a podcast that's kind of Joe Rogan-y. They bring on all sorts of cool people in the car space, and then they also just do like your regular like, hey, we drove a car and we talked about it. So their content's pretty cool. I mean, I like cars to a decent degree. Like I'm not super mechanical or anything, but like I like to hear this car goes fast,
This car can go 999 miles.
Yeah.
What did I even just say? 999 miles per hour.
I'd hope most cars could go 99 miles per hour in this day and age.
Well, no, I said 999 miles. Like, oh, and then it's done.
Yes.
I don't know what I was thinking. Just like a K car in a junkyard. It can go 999 miles.
That long shelf life.
I know, right? Anyways, the last question is, what other video game series do you enjoy?
Yeah, so I mean it's changed a lot over the years, but I would say currently like the main other games that I play besides Halo are like I always come back to CS:GO. I have like 3,000 hours into it, and it's a great game. And then lately I've been playing a lot of Hearthstone, which I don't know why. It's a bad habit, but I enjoy it. Yeah, I mean, growing up, I really liked the Grand Theft Auto games. I was also really into like racing games like Need for Speed and Gran Turismo back on the PlayStation 2. I had a lot of fun with those. So there's some. I mean, I honestly will play like any FPS game as long as it's decent. So I usually try and check out pretty much every FPS game that comes out, at least give it a shot. Whether or not it sticks is a different story. But Apex these days is a lot of fun, although like I'm a little bit burnt out of battle royales in general.
There's so many of them.
Yeah. I'm just kind of over the loop of a battle royale of like drop, loot for like 5 minutes, have a fight, and then you die, and then you just do it all over again.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy cow, the Apex Legends reveal video is 4 hours and 15 minutes.
It probably was like a stream.
Yeah.
This is nuts. How could you, like, who would sit through this?
I'm sure they put it up before the reveal happened.
Maybe. Like, maybe this was just playing in the background and nobody knew what it was, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's a trailer out of nowhere. I don't know. This is bizarre to me.
I don't know. I haven't seen this that you're clicked on, so.
No, me either.
It looks like a whole lot of just like static footage.
That's exactly what it looks like, but this is on the official Apex Legends official reveal video.
You know what? That's when the game came out, so I bet it was like a teaser thing. They threw it up on YouTube for like 4 hours, and people just saw these pictures, and then like I bet toward the end or maybe after they actually like showed the trailer.
Oh, here's where it starts. Yeah, I never actually tried Apex Legends, but I've heard so many good things about it that one of these days I'm gonna just download it and try it.
I downloaded the day it came out, and like I did like the jump out of the plane, and I landed, and I couldn't find anybody, and then all of a sudden I got shot like 10 minutes into the game. Like, okay, this isn't for me.
Yeah, that's
you're
battle
right.
royales in a nutshell.
This was essentially a 4-hour lead up to when they actually did the trailer.
Yeah,
Like,
they actually did like a, I don't know if shadow drop is the right word, but basically they kept this game like totally under wraps, and then they revealed it, and they're like, hey, it's out.
Yeah, you don't do that very often and have the amount of player base that this game had. It was pretty neat to watch, honestly. So then the trailer starts. Boom. Anyway, is there any other concluding facts about your channel or things we should know about you before we conclude this interview?
I don't think so. You can follow me on Twitter and listen to me bitch about how I can't find Halo matches all the time.
Oh, man. Well, either way, if you're watching this video, please go to your YouTube search bar or youtube.com/ARRRASH. All right, you find him that way. Click on this guy. We are subscribed, but I'm not currently signed in, I promise. Okay. He's got 963 subs at the filming of this video. Make sure you are one of the next 37 subs, and I don't know what special thing's going to happen, but he'll get to 1,000 subs somehow.
It's true.
Definitely go check it out. All right, definitely check it out. youtube.com/Arrrash. And we got 2 more videos coming out with him this week, our Thursday and Friday videos. As always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Will.
And I'm Arrrash.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.